Oh, it is a brand new week, and I don't know about you guys, but last week went by like a blur. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Christina, and come plan with me for the week of September 18th. So I'm really looking forward to planning this week. It's going to be a week of rest. That's the way I'm going to look at it. I'm just coming off of a crazy week at work where I had to travel all week for our annual conference, and honestly, it wipes me out for a few weeks. So, no, this is my 5th year doing this, so I know better. So I'm going to go ahead and I made some adjustments for this week so that I have some days to rest and recover. So as usual, what we're going to do here is start the week with some of my weekly habits that I've been tracking. For my weeks, they always start on a Monday. Yours might be a Sunday, but for some reason I always look at Monday as the beginning of the week because Sunday is like the last day to get everything done. I'm always tracking things like, am I journaling every day? I love to read. Typically I read at night before bed. Am I getting my steps in? Every month I've been trying to go over my 6,500, but week after week I tend to hover still around that average, so I'm not quite ready to up the ante just yet. Also tracking if I'm working out. Again, this goes back to my hammies and hundies video, and then also tracking other things like, am I taking all my allergy meds, my vitamins, and my probiotics. As you may have seen from my previous videos, I'm really bad at taking my meds. So this week is interesting because Ellie is traveling to Atlanta. It's a unique and kind of a last minute decision. His sister is visiting from another country, so he made the quick trip down there to go see his sister, who he otherwise does not get to see very often. And then once he gets back, I'm going to be heading out to the Poconos, where I'm going to have that solo time up in the woods. If you may recall, earlier in June, I was supposed to do a solo trip at our Poconos house, and I had surprise guests. My parents crashed my time because their flight got canceled. So this is just to make up for that, just so I can recover from my work conference. So on Monday, there's a couple of things I need to get done. I need to drop Ellie off at the train so he makes it to his flight on time. We did get this mailer about our previous car and the warranty, so I have to pull some of that paperwork together and get that out the door. And then since I'll be solo parenting the first half of this week, I do have to set up a reminder so that I know I'm the one responsible picking up my son every day from school. I'm really fortunate that typically on a daily basis, my husband is dropping the kid off and picking him up from school. So yes, I do have to remind myself. And of course, if weather permits, we'll end the afternoon with Lewis's weekly soccer practice at the park. Again, same thing on Tuesday, have to pick up Lewis, and I'll be picking him up a little bit early because he has his weekly piano lesson at 4 o'clock. I have to say, I've been really enjoying watching my son improve tremendously in his piano. In the 3 months of lessons with this new teacher, he has been learning Ode to Joy by Beethoven, a Star Wars theme song, as well as Minuet in G, and he's playing with both hands, so it's pretty remarkable. Wednesday, Ellie comes home from Atlanta, but I still need to pick up Lewis from school. As you can notice in my planning, I kind of go back and forth between days. I'm just kind of thinking as I put thoughts down on paper. So going back to Tuesday, after piano, Lewis and I will take a trip to our library. I don't know if my schedule will allow for it, but ideally like to make time to pick up Ellie from the airport. The airport from our current house is about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on traffic, so I'm not sure if it's possible, but I will try. Also, I really do like the format of using the bottom portion of the planner to plan out my meals. And that reminds me, my sunbasket is coming on Monday. I decided to do sunbasket again because I know coming off of a week of conference and travel, I wouldn't really have the mental brain space for proper meal planning. Speaking of mental brain space, I knew after a crazy week like last week, I would really need to set aside some time for myself to unplug and not work. So Thursday and Friday were those designated PTO days from work. Friday afternoon is soccer practice, but I will be missing it. So I did take a note that Ellie will be taking care of that alone. And Thursday, before we head out, I do need to take my dog to the vet to get her annual vaccinations and a checkup, and then we'll head out from there. Again, this is a great example of how my brain works, and I flip back and forth between what I need to do. Thinking of going on my solo trip, I also know then I need to plan for my meals and grocery shopping for that trip. I want to go to H Mart, which is a Korean grocery store, pick up some additional groceries. I also need to pack for this trip, and there's a lot of clothes I'll need to take since I brought them all home to be washed. That also reminded me that I need to pick up the rental car. Since we're a one-car family, I'll need to rent a second car through Turo so I can actually make my way to the Poconos. In order to do that, I actually need to reserve the car. So that is on my to-do list for Monday. A few more logistics that came to mind as I was writing this out is that I'm almost out of dog food and I won't be able to go to Costco to pick up her dry kibbles. So making a note here to make sure that Ellie goes while I'm gone. And then of course I need to make a note of the food that I am taking so that my dog has food to eat while we're there. Are you guys the same way where if I don't write it down, I will not remember it? So now it's time to plan my meals for the week. So on Monday after soccer, I'm going to treat Lewis to McDonald's. We like to surprise him with that every once in a while. And then in my sunbasket, I got a bunch of pre-selected stuff or meal kits. So one is root vegetable latkes, then we've got a salmon harissa potato dinner, then there is a vegan taquitos, and this delicious Japanese black rice with fried egg and turkey dish. Now the time that I'm going to be in the Poconos alone, that home is not kosher, so I can really help myself to whatever I want. And I tend to cook or prepare food that I know that Ellie typically wouldn't want to eat or cannot eat. So my go-to right now is my comfort food, which is Korean kimchi jjigae, which is stew with pork belly. I also love shrimp, so I might help myself to some shrimp scampi with some fresh pasta. And then on my last night there, depending on what's available at H Mart, I might pick up some marinated crab and maybe some uni to have that over rice. Doesn't that sound decadent? I'm not sure if I just love seafood or particularly shellfish so much, or if I lean that way because we can't eat that in our home. Well, regardless, it's a good opportunity for me to think about all the things I want to do while I'm up there in the Poconos alone. And so I made myself a little short-term bucket list for this trip. And the first is I really do want to go on a nice long hike, take Una on a hike, maybe go see a waterfall, definitely sleep in. I wanted to film a day in the life of what I do while I'm up there, and then, binge watch some TV shows or movie. Been back on the Korean drama kick, so hey, if you guys have any good recommendations, drop them in the comments below. I also want to finish this cross-stitching project I've been working on for, oh my gosh, I feel like almost a year. It is on the last, 20%, so I really want to power through that and complete it. And then also use this time to do some floor workouts like yoga or Pilates. And of course, cook, because that is usually my stress relief and something I really love doing. And if I get to do this with ingredients that I love to eat with no restrictions, I think it's going to be a really good time. So I'm really looking forward to this week. It doesn't seem very busy, but it is an unusual type of week since Ellie and I are on our separate trips and we'll be just passing each other like ships in the night. I really am looking forward to having the earlier part of the week with just Lewis myself. I'm really lucky in that I have a very supportive partner who takes on the lion's share of the parental responsibilities. Since I also tend to travel a lot for work, as you may have noticed, is always been that way. And it's funny because when I travel, sometimes my clients and colleagues will ask me, well, who's taking care of your son? And I think, what do you mean? He's at home with his father. And they always look at me like, you trust him? If I couldn't trust my kid with his own father, then I don't know. That's a problem. But Ellie has been amazing. He's always been such a wonderful partner, an amazing father, and I never need to leave instructions or have to even think. And there are many times where I'm away where I can't even check in due to time zone differences or because I'm in meetings, and I just know everything will be fine and always taken care of, and I never need to second guess anything that he's doing. So with that in mind, after being a solo parent for the first half of the week and coming off of a crazy work week last week, I am really looking forward to a really quiet, long weekend. And I don't know, maybe this sounds silly because we did have a vacation earlier in August, but I really feel like I just needed some time alone. I do consider myself an extrovert. I mean, I'm doing things like this, like YouTube videos, and kind of putting myself out there. In my job, I'm talking to people all the time, but I really do need time to myself to recharge. So I'm using this opportunity to do that, and I'm really excited. I plan to film and share with you what my time would be like there, so stay tuned for that. It will be posted in the very near future. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you.